Mike the Hobbit here.
Lowdown Brown.
Inviting you to check out Geeks Under the Influence, a podcast that pairs booze with conversation with good friends.
And a little nerd culture.
We get a lot of colorful conversation out of our episodes, but it is here for everyone. No gatekeeping.
Always level up everything we do.
We'll punch up, never punch down.
Exactly.
So check out Geeks Under the Influence anywhere you get your podcasts and join us or die.
Shut the fuck up, Hobbit. Welcome to GUI Nights.
GUI Nights.
Yeah, I am Lowdown Brown. With me as always,
Mike the Hobbit.
this is the tangential side of GUI.
This is like so many of those other shows that has the after the show bit mixed with a little bit of Baywatch night, so it's a little sexier. It's a little bit after hours.
Also while tying it into the previous episode of GUI. So look forward to that too, because this comes out the week after the flagship hour-long episode.
So make sure to check out GUI Nights, and when you're done, you can
Go the fuck home.
The views and opinions expressed on Beautiful Disasters are those of the panelists and not those of the Geeks Under the Influence Network, their sponsors, or anyone else involved. Also, there is going to be a lot of adult language used on this podcast, so please keep your little kitties away unless you don't care about them that much.
Welcome back to Beautiful Disasters.
Oh,
2022.
Yeah.
Late spring
Yeah.
edition.
Yeah. I think the last Schlock abuse we had was on winter time something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Releasing has been really late and behind the ball, you know.
We're still kind of following the seasons. It's all right.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it was still kind of cold-ish here and there when I released that. But we had, what, an 80-some degree day today?
Yeah. Yeah. No, 90.
Was it 90? Did it get
Yeah.
to 90?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was hot as fuck.
Fuck.
Yeah,
All
we I think we, as Monty Python shows, we just skip spring and right to summer. So
God damn it.
yeah.
Man, we got a fucking awesome episode today.
Oh man.
We're gonna fucking go crazy about this shit. However, we should go ahead and introduce ourselves, of course. My name is the Grutz.
F you Hunter.
And our
Guess?
Wait.
No?
No.
I guess we should introduce.
actually
See, that's a little trick there. I get yes.
we're throwing a monkey wrench in this shit. We don't have a guest today.
Oh,
We have a very special announcement.
who's that voice I hear?
We have a new
Special
co-host.
What?
Who is it?
I don't fucking know. Who am I?
I don't know. Introduce yourself, bitch.
Hey, if you don't know, this is making this really complicated because you should have your name
that
down.
would make it really rough if I took notes on literally everything except for my name. I'm Murphy Lawless.
You, Murphy,
Hello.
has been gifted the honor
Yeah,
or the dishonor, depending on
I'm fucking.
What we're
They'll
doing.
stoked.
say that when they get the schlock abuses, that will be the dishonor, right?
truth.
I don't think you guys understand what a sub I am.
Oh, man.
Also, starting there, you brought this on yourselves. I was now invited.
Well,
Worse than vampires.
we have had Murph on this podcast many times, and you have always fucking delivered.
Thank you.
And it was the easiest fucking decision of all time when we were thinking who could help us out with our hosting duties as we are getting older and we have complicated lives, and scheduling had been a problem, and we have not been releasing as often as we would like. So a new host
That's gonna help.
into the mix.
I'm gonna do
was
my best.
The idea, and
No pressure.
You were
Yeah,
the
there's no
only
pressure.
the only choice.
The only choice. How long was the list of applicants? Or
Well, we coulda-
options?
Days and days of going.
We
Oh,
could have come
yeah.
up with a whole lot, but like honestly, we don't have that much left in our lives. We're too old. So
Motherfucker. You're not bequeathing the podcast to me and then dropping dead. What the fuck is this shit?
That's yours now. Bye.
Yeah, I gotta update my will.
I've left you a library of schlock abuse. Fuck you. You'll never get us back.
Anyway, that's the fucking announcement. We have a new host. Fuck yes.
Bam.
Hi, y'all.
And for the movie we did today, this is also kind of a weird departure for the podcast because this is probably the best movie we've ever fucking done.
There's been movies we've watched that are not good, bad. They're just off genre. This is definitely top tier off genre.
Well, when you say off genre, you really mean all genre.
Yeah, for real.
But this is a good film.
Would you
I'm just
say
saying
that
you
it
can't
happens
fit this-
to be like everything?
Yeah, everything. Yeah. You just can't fit it into one specific thing.
Correct.
Or
Yeah.
one specific place?
Yeah, or time.
Oh my God. So
I mean,
how would you quantify a film that fits those specific criteria?
I don't know. But all I can say is I don't want to predict a year from now, but next year, this motherfucker might win Academy Awards.
If it doesn't, I'm fist fighting someone
And
for Michelle
holy
Yeoh.
shit,
Don't do that.
If
There's
we-
movies you watch and then you are really upset when people just ignore it.
if we covered a movie that won Academy Awards, we might just have to retire the podcast.
is that it? You hear us, Academy?
We've gotten off our brand too far. No, this is a fucking
but-
awesome movie.
Wouldn't it just be the beautiful side of the beautiful disasters dichotomy?
It wasn't meant to be a dichotomy.
You also said that you focus on cult cinema and genre films, and this is something that is so bizarrely niche that it doesn't fit into any one spot.
This is why I loved it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It is everything.
Yeah.
But
Now,
yes.
I usually hate saying this next statement, but do yourself a favor, and if you can, try to see the movie before you listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Because spoilers, and the spoilers are kind of one of those things where most of the time I'm like, you fucking see the title, you know going into this, but I just strongly, this is one of those movies, it's an experience.
It is.
So try to see it before you listen to this episode.
I
Pause this,
agree
go
100%.
randomly just watch a movie, and then come back and hit play.
Yeah, no, we would not be hurt. In fact, we encourage this. Go see it in the theater on top of that, because the scale of this film and being engulfed by it is delightful. And I think it's high time that we said what the fuck we are talking about.
Say it.
Everything?
Everywhere.
Was this my part? All at once?
Yes, everything, everywhere, all at once. I thought that was going to be a lot cooler, but this was very anticlimactic because I thought we were slowly working to that, but no.
Was I
it's
supposed
fine.
to do like a radio voice? All at once. All right. Here
No,
we
dude,
go.
I'll make it sound sexy in the edit.
No,
Don't worry about it.
Make it sound sexy.
That's right.
Everywhere.
No, this film, also, again, we're doing a film that is still in the theater.
Yeah.
We've only done that a couple times.
Yeah.
But we're still on this. It's at the tail end of their theatrical run. I'm sure you could still find it somewhere, but yeah, everything everywhere all at once.
I would say there was probably a couple that we've covered that might have been in the theater if theaters were opened that were
true.
on VOD because the time period when theaters were shut down. So
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, I did see, like, when we talked about Psycho Goreman, I did see that in the theater.
yes, and it was your recommendation.
Yep.
That then kind of domino affected where the
Spawned
two of us
our
saw it. And
episode.
they're like,
Eminently.
I think we should do an episode on. And again, Psycho Gorman's another perfect example of it's just that I wouldn't call that a good bad movie. That's a badass movie.
That movie knows what the
like
fuck
the
it is
movie
and what
we're
it
covering
wants.
tonight.
Oh yeah,
Right.
and an entirely different format. And like, you know, I think it's really fucking cool to be able to do is be like, yeah, this film came out in 2022 and we're covering it now. We're so hip and of the
That's
moment.
Yeah.
all right, so
Now I could say from the start when the trailer for this came out, before it even came out in theaters, I specifically sent this to Grutz and said, this needs to be on your list because there are certain movies and I'll see the trailer and go, this is a Grutz movie.
Yep.
And this is a Grutz movie.
Yeah, that tracks.
you were absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Everything about the trailer I wanted to see, and it did not disappoint in the actual, viewing of the movie.
Which is a big statement. And it also isn't like all the good parts of the film are in the trailer, which happens sometimes, unfortunately.
Barely.
Barely
The
scrapes
trailer
the
is
fucking
like,
surface.
hey, starring these people, some crazy shit. We're not going to tell you shit. You got to go see this.
Yep.
Because there's some trailers you're like, okay, so we already know pretty much this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. No, this movie's like, some crazy shit, go see it. Bye.
Here's a taste.
There's an art to making a trailer. They did a really good job in this
Mm-hmm.
movie because they didn't reveal too much. But I also want to say that this movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
It is dense as fuck.
Yeah.
There's
I'm
a
still
lot.
peeling back layers while I'm like reflecting on it.
And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So
We do. Although I will say that I think so. I do want to make like a quick mention of the directors. Like I think that they had an advantage in like putting together this trailer because a lot of where they started was music videos.
Yeah, the only feature they had really that came out before this is, you remember that movie with was it
Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah, Harry
Swiss
Potter,
Army Man?
where he's dead and farting, and it's got the dude from
Paul Dano?
Yeah, Paul Dano.
No, but now I'm gonna watch it.
That's the
Riddler?
first movie.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Swiss Army Man?
I haven't seen Swiss Army Man,
Oh,
but I
the
have seen DJ Snake's music video for "Turn Down for What."
That is what they did. No, check out Swiss Army Man because like the corpse's boner can tell direction like a compass.
Yeah,
So check it out.
This is a podcast, so no one can see my slow blink head turn sip of beer moment that Grutz just got, but picture it in your heads
Are
for
you
me.
shocked in which we're about to talk about a movie that in which
No.
butt plugs enhance your fighting ability? So
Nor they allow you to move between universes,
Yeah.
more so
And-
that like you never know what the
and hot
fuck's gonna
dog
happen.
fingers enhance sexual
oh
experience.
man, here we go.
Hot
Let's
dog,
just
okay, so they just happen to have hot
No,
dog fingers, but I'm fully willing to bet that hot dog fingers aren't a bad thing in a lesbian relationship.
We're gonna get into all of this.
oh,
So
man.
all right, so we're gonna try to run through this plot pretty quickly. We already said spoilers, but we're gonna run through it. So first off, yes, this is a duo, Dan Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, that
The
directed
Daniels.
this. The Dans.
No, they actually
And-
are referred to as the Daniels.
The Daniel. Okay.
Yeah, the
there you go.
Daniels. Yeah.
And yeah, so this is a great outing after Swiss Army Man. Like they don't have a big
even this is their
back catalog.
debut. I mean, like that.
Yeah, I know. It's
Way to
fucking
just
awesome.
jump right into that shit.
Yeah.
So this is a
Well, it's been
almost
constructed for a while.
entirely Asian cast,
Yes.
Yeah.
and I love it so much for that. Not because it needed to be, but because it
No,
is,
I think it needed to be for all the layers of this
it's
film.
fucking perfect. Like it's some films can be a little bit sappy. This was perfect in every fucking way. And Michelle Yeoh, I've had a crush on her since
Tomorrow Never Dies. Yeah.
I don't know, Super Cop.
I
Tomorrow
fair.
Never Dies.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she was amazing.
'Cause she's a
I'm just gonna
fucking
say,
babe.
besides having pretty much an all Asian cast, also very rare to have a movie come out starring two older females as the main stars.
Oh yeah.
Well, not only,
That just doesn't happen these days.
not only that, this is Michelle Yeoh's first top billed film. Like out of her whole
Which is
career.
crazy.
Yeah, it is
What?
crazy to fucking think about. But this is the first film she's been in where she has had absolute top billing, and she was fucking incredible in it. And it's something on top of that included a lot of elements that are outside of her wheelhouse. Because like I was listening to some interviews with her and her talking about how like she's like, oh yeah, normally like I show up, I look badass, I look like ice cold, but glamorous, and in this I'm just ordinary and comical and surprised by the things that I can do. And she was just talking about how like she was rolling on the ground laughing so
Even
often.
though there's literally one of the one of the dimensions, there's a play on her being this famous
Yep.
actress.
I think there actually were showing Crazy Rich Asians in that theater in the film, which she was in. Which,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It could
if I remember correctly.
But I mean, also, and just to say it, she about 60 years old
She's 59.
and don't look like it.
No.
Holy fuck. And then of course we get
I don't give a fuck if she does look like it. I'm still in. I'm in, baby.
I don't even know this motherfucker's name as much as a fan of it.
Holy shit! You talking about
Are
the biggest surprise in
Are
the
you talking-
casting?
Ke-Hu Kwan?
Ke Huy Quan?
Ke-Hu Kwan?
Yeah.
Motherfucking short round Data.
Which is
Oh,
weird
man.
because he's grown up, except that voice is still
It comes through.
yeah.
But it's part of how he holds his throat, because he uses it to his advantage in the film. When we switch between the universes, he drops the pitches of his voice and shifts how he's presenting himself. Like, he does that meek voice on purpose. And one of the things that I learned when I was looking stuff up is that he literally got inspired to return to acting because of Crazy Rich Asians, because he was doing like stunt coordinator work and stuff like that on some other films, and was kind of doing some background stuff, doing his own thing, and literally got a talent agent 2 weeks before he got the call to audition for this movie.
No shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And was just, in my opinion, perfect.
He's made it now where I might actually have to invest in a fanny pack in case I run into any
Dude,
kind
fanny
of
packs
thugs.
are great.
Because
You know it.
I've never seen a fanny pack used as much as a weapon as this movie with him, and that was fucking badass.
Fanny packs are awesome, and you will feel like such a stud when other, like, okay, so I'm obviously not a dad as a femme-bodied, non-binary humanoid, but when other dudes are out and they're like, hey, like your fanny pack, and you're like yours, bro, it feels really fucking great.
Oh, and we have Stephanie Hsu,
Stephanie Hsu, yeah.
who and playing the daughter.
Yep. Joy Wang,
And
Jobu Tabaki.
didn't know her from really anything, but very good in this movie. And then we have two fantastic. Well, we have a few more. We have James Hong, who is a goddamn
come
fucking
on.
My
legend,
God.
who
Lopan?
was so great in this
Yeah.
and got better and better as the movie went along. We have, of course, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Who is a champion for this fucking film, by the way.
Oh
Like,
my God.
I'm pretty sure that if it does, like, if Michelle Yeoh doesn't win something, if I don't fist fight someone, Jamie Lee Curtis might.
Indeed. And then we had a small role with Jenny Slate.
Oh, yeah.
As-
Random as shit.
As Dog Mom,
yeah.
which was a funny role. But all right, so let's get into this movie.
We're going to have a breakdown pretty much of like we usually do. This one's a little harder. That's why I like,
Yeah.
we'll give you kind of the beats of the movie, but there are so many fucking layers.
There's 3 acts to the movie. It does summarize it in 3 parts. Like, it breaks itself down into everything, part 1, everywhere, part 2, and all at once, part 3.
Right.
And, it's definitely like some of those stages of like introducing the trauma, introducing like the problems, and introducing the solution and the aftermath is ultimately like the overall progression of what we look at, but in so many more fragmented and complicated ways than that, because
It is probably
holy shit.
my favorite weird use of the 3-act structure I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Yeah. Which, I mean, usually the only director I know that just kind of will go for it that much is usually Tarantino. Tarantino is like, I love breaking them down into parts. Well, not a lot of people do that.
I'm pretty sure that's a hallmark of Asian cinema, so that makes sense as to why
Yeah.
Tarantino has such a fucking boner.
Well, Asian and Westerns, like,
Yeah. But
So, all right. So
I mean, what is a Western but an adapted samurai
There
film?
you go.
Okay, but anyways, we can talk the difference between Westerns and samurai films on a different episode.
So the way I figure we'll do this, just to get through it relatively quickly, is I'm going to go through this as kind of like bullet points,
Okay.
and I want you guys to just roll in with whatever you need to talk about.
So you're going to guide us, and then we'll bring up hot dog fingers and
Yeah.
other random
Exactly.
shit as we go along. All
Can I
right.
share one of my favorite descriptions of this film that I found? A swirl of genre anarchy, because holy fuck is that apt.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've told people it's the closest to a live action Rick and Morty you're going to get. Some of the zany shit, especially the interdimensional specials.
Yeah.
There's so many beats that follow
They
those episodes in this movie.
Had this film written prior to
The
interdimensional stuff with like Rick and Morty and all that stuff, because I think that they've been developing this film since like 2016
Yeah.
or something. It may have been before that, but I want to say 2016 is like the solid number that I saw.
All right. So we open up in the apartment above a laundromat.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a mom, a dad, and a teenage,
Early 20s.
early
daughter.
20s,
Yeah.
maybe late teens, early 20s, angry, disaffected youth. Mother-daughter drama is hardcore.
Yeah.
the introduction of the husband.
Well, you already get an idea what their
Waymond.
apartment is. Just, I mean, like it's above the laundromat, but it's also storage for the laundromat. So
Right.
not
Yeah.
the best living conditions.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we're looking at an apartment that mimics what's going on in Michelle Yeoh's character's name is Evelyn Kwan Wang.
Yes.
So I think that we're actually looking at an apartment that kind of mimics the way that her brain feels at that moment, where it's very cluttered, like everything feels kind of muffled, everything is on top of each other. Like there's no room for communication because you have no time for communication.
This literally could be a 2.5 hour podcast of all the details that I
exactly.
noticed. The little things, and but we got to run through this shit.
Okay.
All right. So, mother-daughter drama. We got a meek husband introduced. There's Evelyn's father,
Gong Gong.
Gong Gong.
Yep.
James Hong's character is staying with them, living with them. Who knows?
He's just come to visit, I believe.
And I mean, he's old. Who knows?
But she's still trying to please him. Like he's I just disappointed her constantly.
I mean, daddy issues. That's just
Yeah.
a thing.
That's also like that is part of this film, is that the legacy instilled in Asian culture and Asian Americans specifically, like a lot of the stuff that I was reading talks about like that strive for perfection, like that focus on perfection.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't have perfection, you have nothing. And I think this film really butts up against that, and I love it.
It's hard, and there's a lot of intolerance and racism, and it happens.
yeah.
Well,
But
okay, more than that, we'll get into that. I'll let you describe the
we
film.
shall. Yes.
It's
And then
just
I'll
hard to be
argue
like,
it.
well, actually, can we throw this in there too? Yeah, like
But that's what watching this film is like. Literally, it's
So
all
the
of this
basic setup,
information.
a lot of family drama.
Yeah.
She's not happy.
Yep.
Meek husband is sad,
Wanting a divorce.
wants a divorce. Daughter's mad. Father doesn't approve. They've got this laundromat that apparently they're getting audited by the taxes. Like
Yeah.
you got a table full of receipts. Like
which is not good. by the
everything,
way.
everything's chaos. And on top of
Yeah.
all of it, they're trying to plan like some fucking party.
Yeah.
I guess for the dad, right?
No, it's their annual. I want to say it's their New Year's party.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's
it's their
that's what it
Chinese
was.
New Year's party.
New Year's party, and they're
And-
inviting all their customers, and it's a big deal.
Yeah, and the daughter wants to bring her girlfriend, to introduce to her
Yes.
family and to Gong Gong, and just wants her mother to accept that this is her girlfriend and not her friend.
Yes, and
So
of
that is
course
another
the mother
complicated
can't admit to the father. It's a whole divide.
Yep.
So audited by the IRS. That's where we come into Jamie Lee Curtis's character, who is Deirdre.
Well, Beardra.
Deirdre is the saltiest, angriest IRS agent.
Oh,
if you were
my
to
God.
close your eyes, Jimmy Lee Curtis did the perfect, like just if you were to think like just
Yeah.
shitty IRS.
Sunk into her turtleneck, wearing an
Yeah.
arm brace, tired of this shit because she's seen everything you have and more.
Just burnt the fuck out. Like, I want every receipt. You don't have it. I know you don't have it. We're
Yeah.
gonna audit the shit out of you.
Mad at
Yeah.
life and willing to take it out on the poor assholes sitting on the other side of the table.
Did she receive any kind of a trophy or an award?
I would, in fact, say that she has 2 awards sitting behind her in these very familiar looking shapes, as a matter of fact. They're butt plug awards.
They are.
They are not explicitly stated, but if you've ever seen or joked about something that could go in a butt, this is that shape.
Yeah, it's a butt plug on a
On a plaque.
On a plaque. Yeah, here you go. Here's your award.
I do recall that was the first time that I chuckled out loud
Yep.
to myself. I was like, of course they would do that. That would be the inside joke. Why are they showing it to the outside world? All right, so they have a trip to the IRS. They're sitting in front, and actually right before that,
In the elevator, yeah.
she has a little elevator experience where the husband, who is meek and pushing
Wayman.
grandpa in a wheelchair, comes into a different state of being where he's now directing her, just like
blocks the camera in the elevator.
Yeah,
and
like
giving her instructions.
He's giving her basically like Morpheus and Matrix shit. Like,
tells her that he's
this
from
is
the
what you have to
Alphaverse.
do. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Giving her some exposition, and she's like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about?"
I do not have time for this shit.
But he grabs what his character like doesn't know. It's divorce papers. Writes instructions for her to follow on the back quickly, and then reverts to that reality's her husband
and
again.
gives her the two. They're basically like
earbud.
like the phone headsets that she
Yeah.
can hit.
Bluetooth
to switch.
headsets.
Yeah, Bluetooth. Thank you. That's the word.
Magic.
yeah.
Bluetooth headsets. So they end up at the desk of Jamie Lee Curtis, Deirdre, and she's just like, "The fuck is this? Like, you're claiming like karaoke machines and shit. Like, they're gonna lose their audit." It becomes very clear, and
Things are going very badly.
and she is wielding all of her power as an IRS agent. Like, she's salty as shit. Like, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And in the middle of this whole situation, she starts having experiences where she's seeing different realities.
Almost Michelle Yeoh does. Yeah.
It
Michelle
almost
Yeoh,
seems
yeah.
like she wants to get out of the situation, and then she turns over the paper, and there's instructions, and she's like, the first one is, take your shoes and put them on the opposite feet, and she's like, all right.
Yep.
And then I think the next one is think about the closet that's down the hall, down the way.
Right.
Think about being in there.
Right.
And then, was it hit the button on
and then hit your buttons.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, boom, she's in the closet, but not in the closet. And that's where we start to realize the beats of this movie.
Yes. So the interdimensional shifting, get ready for it. Yeah. If you like slow movies that take their time,
This is not for you.
this is not for you. This is gonna yo-yo you back and forth through realities like faster than you can think.
This
at some
film
points.
starts like the roller coaster of the Hulk, where you start going up like a regular roller coaster. One thing happens, you hear a sound, and then it takes the fuck off and does not slow down.
So they have a less than stellar IRS audit meeting, and they basically are told that they have until close of business that day to get their shit together. Otherwise, they're gonna get
They're gonna get repossessed.
They're gonna get reamed, basically. And as they're heading out, they get over to the fucking
The
elevators,
elevator,
and it looks like she's having more experiences and whatnot. And then suddenly, Deirdre walks up. Jamie Lee Curtis walks up, and she feels like threatened after her experiences and punches her in the face.
Yeah. Well, because in the other reality, like she's fucking,
She is being threatened by Deirdre.
She kills like people in that reality, so she's still like, oh, she's fucked up, and just punches her, and that brings the security. And holy shit, that's when her husband jumps into that body.
Oh my god.
With his fanny pack and just starts beating the shit out of 5 or 6 security guards.
So this is probably one of my favorite things I've seen since the original Matrix, or like the first John Wick movie.
Yeah.
Because he legit has a fight with 4 security guards with a fanny pack.
Yeah.
And it's wire work kung fu. It is he fucking eats a chapstick and becomes Jackie Chan. It is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I forgot about the chapstick. Yeah.
Is this before or after the paper cuts?
That's later.
That's like, sorry, I made myself think about it. There's because you have to do crazy things in order to trigger like that gateway to the other universe to open, which is what the switching of the shoes were. Things that don't make any sense but open up a pathway nonetheless. And there are specific things that will take you down different paths.
He eats the chapstick, and that's what brings there. I forgot about that. That's an element. Is that you have to do something fucking out of ordinary, bonkers kind of, and some stuff a little more insane than other stuff. Like put your shoes on the wrong feet. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not long after that like basically we get some exposition after this particular fight sequence where like I guess in real life
out the Alphaverse.
The entire building is being evacuated by security.
Yeah, it goes from like a couple of security guards fighting to like evacuate the building, alarms going off, shit happening everywhere.
They're calling the fucking like the SWAT.
Yeah.
But she gets the she's getting the exposition from
Waymond.
from Alphaverse Waymond,
Yeah.
right? Who is telling her this and this and this, like, you know, you've got to, you're the chosen one, you're the Neo
Yeah.
of
But
all.
it's kind of fucked up the
Basically-
reason she's the chosen one.
Exactly.
I think that because you're the biggest failure, you have the most potential, is what he says.
That's so fucked up. Like, you suck. Of all the different versions of you, you are the shittiest one.
Well-
so you have the best ability to take in all this shit.
Well, I think the reason that he's saying that, because that's a really hard thing to fucking say to people, but I think that it also relates to, like, so the way that switching between the universes works is that essentially, like, in order to learn these skills, you are tapping into an alternate universe version of yourself, where you made different choices and took a different life path, and therefore have these skills.
Yeah.
And then you are coming back to that body that you are currently inhabiting in this world, in the audit, we'll call it the audit world, and then this alpha verse, or I'll call it the audit world.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you have the knowledge from this other universe. And because she has made so many choices that are for other people and has minimized herself and has become almost lost, she has the potential to gain everything.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that when she goes into those other versions of herself,
Yeah.
she takes on all the, I guess,
Abilities.
and memories. So just that quick experience, all of a sudden she can fucking,
Yeah.
like, you know, she learned Kung Fu.
She learned Kung Fu. She has
The
ridiculously
Matrix
strong pinkies.
parallels are hard.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Oh, yeah.
Side
obviously,
spinning, that's a skill.
she can
Yeah.
learn everything. In the Alphaville, or Alphaverse, they even have, like, a fucking roving van with all their technology on it, just like the fucking, what was it, the Prometheus?
Oh, yeah,
in Matrix, where it was like they were like running through the fucking whatever.
There's so many elements to that.
Anyway, so yeah, she gets the info. She still doesn't understand it, but
There's a mention of this major threat. There is
Yeah,
someone
right.
that is
The
there,
ultimate evil.
the ultimate evil that is there to, I guess, as everybody worships them with the third eye that we forgot
Yeah.
to mention.
The third eye
Everybody
that they staple to their fucking foreheads.
Yes. But
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis's character, and everybody has these third eyes, and they go, "We are here for this one," and you're
Yeah.
like, "Who the fuck is the ultimate badass motherfucker?"
Yeah.
And then you find out, and one of the best, like, intro, I am king shit of fuck mountain scenes,
yep.
because
that.
her daughter comes in, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, I guess that."
Hi,
but-
Joy.
But she doesn't seem like her daughter, and instantly she just casually walks up, and security guards are like, "All right, you need to stop." Holy shit. She shows, I know what I'm doing with these abilities. I've been through all these
Yep.
different realities, so I'm gonna just fuck with these guys. So
Yeah.
So she
The Alphaverse version of Joy Wang is called Jobu Tapaki, and she is the ultimate evil.
yep.
she confetti kills a cop.
Yes.
Yep.
She salsa dance kills a cop, and she dildo bludgeons another.
Yeah. That's where I was like, okay, we're going there. She pulls out the dildos and just starts beating the shit out of them.
Yep.
And even right before that, there was the paper cut finger
Yeah.
situation, and then also Evelyn had to declare her love for the the zombie brute force that was Deirdre, and then learn kung fu,
Yep.
and like fucking went like wire work bananas Hong Kong on her. It was amazing. So after the insane introduction of the daughter villain,
Oh, yeah.
And the everything bagel.
And the
and
everything
then
bagel.
we have
I put literally everything on it.
they have an interaction where basically Jobu takes Evelyn through a whole shitload of realities in like a flashing sequence where there are a bunch of rocks, and then not rocks. The rocks come later. It's the 10,000 BC. It's the 2001 situation.
Except the
Hot dog fingers.
the mammal with the hot dog fingers beat the regular mammal. So
Yep.
the course of the civilization is everyone has hot dog fingers.
Yep.
Holy fuck.
Yep.
The hot dog figures is maybe my favorite thing of the whole movie because it's so
I lost
stupid.
my shit when that happened. And that's
That was just a lot.
the different realities. And you're seeing different things happen. You're like, okay, it wasn't until we got to that point that went, oh, this movie's fucking going there.
Yep.
Like, they're not just mentioning, they're going to show us the evolution of hot dog finger people.
Yep.
And yeah, in the different realities, there's like weird psychedelic ones. There's an animated one. There's all kinds of weird shit.
Yep.
But
the hot dog universe where she's lovers with Deirdre and they caress each other's faces with hot dog fingers.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
And
pretty-
then there's
that's pretty
even
tops.
like the weird there was Bollywood on the TV in
Yep.
the laundromat that turns into hot dog fingers Bollywood in another scene.
Yes.
Like the
Yes.
layers of the references and everything is
They make fun of her because she always gets ratatouille mixed up and says that it's a raccoon.
Yeah.
And what you think is them going, you're so not paying attention to stuff. You think it's a raccoon, it's a rat. And she's trying to explain stuff. And then later on, we get a raccoon controlling somebody by pulling the hair. Again, there's just stuff in here. You're like, okay, this is just a throwaway. No, it's in the fucking movie.
Yep.
It's in the
Everything
fucking movie.
is in it. Yep. Raccoony.
so
Yep.
in this exposition where the villain is basically speaking to the mom, Evelyn.
Evelyn, yeah.
It basically becomes clear that she has created a black hole using an everything bagel.
Yeah, she calls it the everything bagel because she put literally everything on it.
Everything went into this bagel. And the best line, which is probably going to be the fucking subtitle for this episode, is, and the way she delivers it is, sucked into a bagel. It's just like really slow and weird. I was just like, what the fuck?
The actress that plays the daughter did an amazing job.
Stephanie
Oh my
Hugh.
God.
Because
Yeah.
she looks so vulnerable at the beginning and just so
She does.
just pushed away from how her mom is. And then this other version of her is just almost all-knowing and just like,
Oh, she is.
fuck
She's,
everything. Just
she's literally existing in all of these universes simultaneously. That's why she's so fucking powerful.
but just gives two shits about
Oh, no.
anything.
Like,
where her daughter in this one
She is queen
reality
nihilism.
is so affected by her mom, her grandfather, so much stuff. And this one is like, fuck everything. I don't give a shit. It all goes in the bagel.
also, shout out to the costumer, Shirley Curata, because holy fuck, these
Oh,
looks.
yeah, no.
The
Yeah.
Well,
golf
everything-
pro.
Everything from like the minimal shit that like Evelyn wears in like their everyday outfits, like the thought that she put into that, all the way to like all of these high glam looks for Jobu Tupaki.
There's a random punk rock sweater at some point. I was like,
so that actually, I was reading about that. That's part of the like the genius of the costume because she went to Chinatown to get the things that somebody who is in that like that is actually living in that situation would wear. And one of the things that is common amongst like Asian cultures and Asian source and things like that is to put these like random words on things that sometimes don't make sense, but in this case totally makes sense because Evelyn is punk rock as fuck.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And she wears it for the New Year's party.
Yeah, it's a button-up sweater. It
It
says
is.
punk rock. I was like, okay, I had to make sure I was reading that
No,
correctly.
no.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
mean,
did.
you're not wrong. The fucking art direction, the costume design,
Yeah.
everything about this movie, the editing.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll get into all that later.
I just needed a shout out to that since we're talking about Jobu strolling
It
in like
seems like we just are going off the rails, but that's
This is the
how
movie.
the movie
It,
is.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, yes.
We're
We're
giving
not
you-
having
we're
a
giving you-
disjointed episode.
I would say we're giving you some direction.
Yeah.
But again, this is a experience that
yeah.
we're just kind of giving you kind of highlights. Just fucking go see.
Oh, it is important to note that one of the other universes that Evelyn gets to experience is essentially like we'll call it the Michelle Yeoh universe, where she didn't choose to go with Waymond and instead is this incredibly successful martial artist and actress and is glamorous and is beloved and has everything. And he is like,
But it's all-
this successful businessman.
But it's all this outer shell because she's so successful. But then you see that like her trainer pretty much controls her life.
Yeah.
And she has no say in anything. Now she's again this huge star. Everybody wants to be her, but she has no control.
But it's all these temptations of what could be.
Yep.
And what people think
because,
about.
Yeah, apparently
because everyone thinks what if.
Leaving with her husband, like and getting married and having a kid, her father pretty much, it looks like, disowned her for the longest period of time.
Yeah, he wasn't happy about that.
Yeah.
That pretty much leads into the next scene where Alphaverse James Hong shows up in like a Professor X chair, right?
Holy shit.
And then he basically asks her, like after a little exposition, to be like, here's a box cutter. You need to kill your daughter.
Yeah, kill your daughter.
Because right now, Jobu Tupaki is inhabiting your daughter, so it's one less body for the villain to have. And of course, like, you can't ask a mom to fucking like slash a daughter, you know?
Yeah.
But the very next sequence is him like basically calling his guys, his Alphaverse dudes, to like, all right, well, we need to motivate you. And they lock them all in a freaking closet and start gassing them. And then she has like a vision, or like connects with like a singer who has good breath control to survive that and then go fight.
Well, and she also connects to someone that cleans that office in a different reality where she knows there is that hidden closet that is a sex dungeon.
Yep.
So she knows where everything is because she hits the button and there's the false bookcase that opens up. And there's that's what I'm saying. This movie just thinks and covers everything where it's like, oh, well, this office that's just this regular fucking office in the IRS building. Oh, I guess the dude has a hidden estimate, you know, like
everybody's got a thing.
Yeah.
So she needs to breathe. She channels a singer. She channels a sign spinner on the street to wield to kung fu wield a freaking shield and whoop a motherfucker's ass, like a bunch of dudes' asses, and like throw it as a boomerang around a room to win. Then she has to fight another sub boss, which was Dog Mom, Jenny Slate from before, who fucking...
I forgot about the dog weapon.
Who channeled like Gogo Yobari from Kill Bill.
Yeah.
And was just like...
But with the dog.
A dog on a leash, like wielding it like a weapon. It was the fun... Like, I was rolling off the couch laughing.
Because nobody... You get introduced to all these random people... And then
they
there's
all have
the
roles to
callbacks where, and at the beginning of the movie, she came in with her dog. She's bitching about, not having her stuff ready to be picked up. I completely forgot about her till she showed up again, but with dog as weapon.
Right. And then she had to channel a hibachi chef.
Yep, which is how we get the Rakakuni.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To defeat her. And then two other dudes come in, and the butt plug shit happens.
Because they realize that to unlock their other thing, they have to basically jump ass first onto these trophies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one is a trophy, and the other one finds, and then prompts
it's the two trophies.
Okay, I thought one was a trophy and one was something else.
Well, I think they tried to jam something else in their ass.
And she stops.
There was definitely a bong in the other dude's ass.
Yeah.
Yes, that was where he came back and was
now,
like...
let me ask you this, because I saw it digitally streaming. You saw it in the theater.
Yes.
Was it blurred out?
No.
For the one dude?
Nope.
No.
So whatever version I saw,
somebody decided you're not allowed to see.
You know what? I bet you anything that was some censored foreign thing.
Yeah.
So like his dick was just swinging, right?
Swinging around. Yep. There is not one blurred out thing in this movie.
Yeah, I definitely saw this at the Bird, and which is a local theater in Richmond, Virginia that's been around for like 100 years. It's fucking beautiful.
Indeed.
And yeah, there was dick swinging things up the butt. It was great.
So yeah, she defeats the butt stuff guys, and then she defeats the butt stuff guys, and then let's see, Alphaverse James Hong rolls up on her, and then she channels Pinky Kung Fu.
Yes.
And fucking throws him off, and then at this point she's been through a lot, so she pukes for like a minute straight. And then falls over.
Yeah.
And has a dream sequence with cartoons and pinatas and...
Oh, shit, I'd forgotten about that.
And
then we get to, I believe, the Rock version Is that where we get to?
I do, yes.
Where all this stuff's going on, and then it's just 2 rocks.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. And then one rock talks to the other one through subtitles. And there's so many levels in this movie. I was like, all right, we've got rock conversation.
Yeah,
And it's
we
like,
had like a
great. Now we're at rocks.
Now
we
we're
had
just
like
rocks.
a 2-3 minute scene where it's rocks with subtitles.
Yeah.
They're not moving.
No.
And I was still engaged in the film.
Of
And you're
course.
like, what's going to happen? They're rocks.
Oh my god.
And the weird thing is that something does happen later.
And yes, so you think we're pretty much it's pretty much there, and then we get to the point where both sides, or you know, Alphaverse James Hong has got his folks trying to get her motivated.
Jobu's followers are going after Gong Gong's followers are getting
Exactly.
going
And
after
then
her.
Waymond, who got stabbed, he has a very emotional sort of situation where Short Round tries to save the day with kindness.
Don't diminish him by just calling him Short Round.
Yeah, he's
so
also
much-
Data.
He's
I
Data.
will punch you both.
Exactly. And
It would be an
Data
episode if
Klein.
we didn't attempt to piss off Murphy at some point. So go on. What did Data do again?
so he goes on. He's the kind one. He's the happy
Oh,
one.
no.
And he tries
They're
to
giving me that look.
He tries to compel with that,
Yeah.
and then it all kind of almost works.
Well, that's always been his thing. Like, he has always tried to bring kindness into situations throughout this whole movie. Like, and it comes up again and again. And it's one of those things that, like, she doesn't have time for kindness. And so that's not a route that she takes.
Yeah, nobody does.
Yeah.
So
Why
I have
would
time
they?
for kindness. Fuck you.
So then it starts to ramp up again.
Yeah.
And we've got all kinds of shit going on. We've got
Is this where we get to the actual party at the laundromat? Or is
No,
that-
this-
well,
did we
everything's
skip-
cutting in and
Did
out.
we skip where Alphaverse Waymond dies? He gets killed. Because Alphaverse Waymond gets killed by Jobu Tapaki.
That's
at
about
the-
to happen.
Okay.
That's
okay.
about to happen. So
I thought that
in
happened while they're
this
still
whole
at the IRS building.
this is the
so
whole this is the whole
much.
fray. Yeah, we're not going to be able to.
It comes off as ramblings of a crazy person. We're just giving you guidance, but there's so here, there, back and forth, and like
There's no way to describe this movie in
This
a
film
sequence.
lives up to its name.
So chaos ensues. You've got the Alphaverse folks against them. You've got Jobu Tupaki's crew against them. Everyone's fighting. We have a sequence where Foot Love comes into play. Where
you mean hot dog finger foot love?
yes, where
Yep.
the hot dog
And condiments.
finger. I think that was almost like the orgasm cum or something. I don't even know what that was.
I
All I
hate
do-
ketchup beyond all reason. That was the hardest thing that I think I've ever watched, including like
that was the
Cannibal
sexiest use of
Holocaust.
mustard I've ever seen. By
That's
the way,
fine.
Awful.
I'm really glad that you liked it and found your niche, but I just sat in a strange limbo of many feelings.
I
trying
gotta
to
say
crawl
the
out of my
sweetest,
skin.
the sweetest scene of this movie is Jamie Lee Curtis playing Schubert's Ave Maria with her feet.
Yes.
And the fucking
Hot dog fingers.
like arm brace that was on her wrist is on her ankle now.
Yep.
And I'm just like, this movie's
They
too
thought
much.
everything.
Like
Yeah.
I'm literally, my brain is starting to decompress. Like I
All
can't
right,
even.
let's get to laundromat party.
We've got that. We do have Robo Hong,
That's right.
where he turns the Professor X chair turns into a like a mech. What the fuck?
Well, because at that point is where we get the split offs. You have
Yes.
her still at the IRS building, her at the laundromat at the party, her. I'm trying to remember the different.
They go to the alley after the premiere
Yeah,
in the
when the
universe
actress-
where she is
Yeah.
successful.
It's taking place all over.
So you get kind of
Yeah.
resolution sort of happening in these
Kind
different
of, yeah.
realities.
But
Yeah.
the main thing that is driving all this is Jobu Tubaki has opened up the bagel black hole and is trying to suck everyone into it, including her and Mom, to end everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have it shifts to the party.
Yeah, where pretty much she just loses her fucking mind. She's done with all that stress. Just kind of jams in, and she just like starts throwing shit through the windows.
Yep, she snaps.
She snaps
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
much to the point where, and I think Jamie Lee Curtis's character's there, and
Yeah, she comes with the cops because
Yeah.
they missed their appointment
Yeah.
in the other world. She's getting shot at, and she stops all the bullets and makes them googly eyes. Like, I don't know, like what the fuck?
Yep.
But we get to where I think she realizes kind of what her husband's been pushing, stop fighting, use kindness.
Yeah.
And that, oh man. So I guess the main scene with the bagel where she's going up and she decides instead of fighting these motherfuckers.
I think we're mixing our timelines around again.
Are we?
Yeah, I
We're
think
not.
so. Are you sure?
Because it's going back and forth. It's the
it's
whole
all
thing.
happening
Is
at the
that
same
as
time.
she's at the
Yeah, that's
laundromat,
true.
then it goes to
Because
where
I thought
she's
that happened in part 2. Fuck. Okay.
but where she's now learned to help each person, and that
She tries to figure out what will make them happy to resolve the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that specifically because it's the scene with the fucking district manager where she pulls out, like, to satisfy him, she goes into the closet and basically spanks him, which, by the way, is one of the directors.
oh really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, that's Daniel Scheinert is the one that gets
All right,
spanked.
fair.
Yeah.
But she's like, okay,
Yeah.
all right. So as people are coming up to her, she does different things and kind of fixes them. Like the dude that I guess had the fucked up back, and she does her acupuncture and is able to fix his back, and he just smiles and then just walks away.
Yeah.
So the guy comes. So she's doing quick resolution instead of fighting them, fixing them to make it up to her daughter to get to her. And that's where her daughter's like, you can do whatever you want. You've done
That's
too much damage.
That's the hard fix.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
They go back and forth. She defeats all these
Cures.
people.
I would say cures.
Cures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's also got support. At this point, she has broken out of the father situation. Like, the father mech tried to like crush her, and she dealt with her father,
That's right,
being
Father Mech.
you should have let me go, like all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So now at this point, it's just her and the daughter
Mm-hmm.
and her family like supporting her. The daughter still wants to go,
Yeah.
right?
Because that's where we find out that the bagel was never to suck everything in. It was for Jobu, right? And she wanted someone like Evelyn to be able to see everything to understand her.
Yeah.
So that's where nihilism.
Well, mad young person.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's there's a lot going on, but that version of her daughter is much more on the nihilistic side because she has seen everything. Because that was the whole thing that Alphaverse Evelyn pushed her daughter too far and basically broke her mind, where she now exists in always at once. So that's the kind of that exists. I also would like to note that I saw this film the first out of the three of us, so I do apologize. I was just very excited to talk about how much I loved it.
No, you're fine. All right, so let's end this. Like, who wants to end this thing? We got to end the goddamn synopsis. We're at the end.
Well, I mean, pretty much it's lesson learned in all the realities to the point where our first main one, she reconnects and is able to connect with her daughter, which kind of started the whole ball rolling in the first place. Hey, let me meet your girlfriend. Hey, let's figure each other out. And I think it was not just her daughter, but like instead of fighting everything, like she connects with Jamie Lee Curtis's. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting her character's name.
Deirdre Beaubierdra is her character's
but
name.
after the freak out with the window crashing,
I thought the last name was a joke.
No, it literally is Deirdre Beaubierdra. That's her character's name.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
but she just kind of resolves everything from experiences and the other realities to I need to get a hold of my stuff,
Right.
work it out with the IRS, work it out with her daughter, and that course corrects everything.
Work it out with the husband.
Yeah, and not only that, but stop trying to perpetuate that cycle of control that was such a problem for her. Because once she stops trying to do that to both her husband and her daughter, where she's like, oh, you not only need me to accept this, but you also need me to let you go. Okay, then that is fine. That is what you want, and I will let you have what you want. And she finally let Waymond help. And when Waymond is allowed to reveal to Deirdre that he wanted to ask Evelyn for a divorce, Deirdre suddenly finds a humanizing element within this person that she had looked at as surely an IRS objective, because she can connect on the point of divorce. And it changes the way that future goes and the way that Deirdre treats Evelyn.
Yeah.
It is the most satisfying happy ending I think I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wept so much during this movie. I laughed my ass off while I was weeping too. And, my body had no idea how to handle this film.
Well, because you have that midpoint where they go, you're the prime person because you have made so many mistakes in your life.
You're the most unhappy version of yourself.
You have that low point, and then she kind of figures things out. But it's that low point of you kind of suck, so that's why you're the most susceptible to it, to you're going to have to figure this shit out. And she does at the end. And that's what kind of fixes everything.
It's being able to see all of these other points, and that while we can wonder, what if, that we go back to Waymond's point and request of choose kindness, be kind and choose hope, and request that also you stay present instead of wondering what if for your whole life, which is, I think, in essence what she had been doing. Her whole life is just wondering what if, why did I, instead of actually living her life.
Yeah,
right.
I said it a couple times already, but again, we just a tip of the iceberg on this movie.
Barely
gave
scratched
you the beats of it, but you have to, there's so much there that is just a view and experience that we can't cover.
Exactly. I mean, it's so dense. I'm going to be able to watch this 3, 4, 5 more times and still be finding new things, new details. It was so masterfully done. And if I can express one thing about this, I am in awe of the ambition of this movie and the fact that they pulled it off.
Yeah.
This is so fucking amazing. And there's very few films that get to a point that you have such a big, giant, complicated narrative to tell, and you make it happen. Many other films will fall apart.
It is a really good comparison to Matrix, where just out of the blue this movie comes and you're like, okay, and it's on this other scale. And going into this, I had talked to a few people that had seen it prior, but you're still just not prepared for what you're going to. You're like, oh, see some crazy fight scenes, stuff like that. No. Oh, I'm gonna see some this or that. No, there's so much to absorb in this movie. It's a multiple viewing type of feature.
That's fair. And I think, I actually didn't connect it with The Matrix when I watched it, but I think that's because when I first watched The Matrix, I was probably younger and seeing it with a different brain wavelength than you were examining it.
Or it was already at that level. Because, I saw Matrix first weekend that it came out, so I had no fucking idea what I was going into.
I can say something that'll hurt you.
What's that?
That was the first R-rated movie I ever saw.
Oh, shit.
We're old.
But even
whatever.
with a few people seeing this movie prior to it, I still went into it and went, I was unprepared.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no, everything I've heard from everyone, which I'm thankful nobody spoiled it for me, but everyone was like, go watch this movie.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. And I went in expecting a great time, and I was fucking still floored.
Hell yeah.
So,
yeah.
God damn it. Anyway, let's wrap this motherfucker up.
All right.
Can I mention two quick things that shouldn't take very, very long?
Yeah.
So one of them is that, number one, like I mentioned before, Jamie Lee Curtis is an absolute fucking champion for this film. And a quote from her that she responded to someone on Instagram with was, "Fuck yes. I wasn't head cheerleader in high school for nothing, and P.S. Our movie has a dynamic dildo fight scene as well as a very erotic hot dog hand mating dance." And that really delights me. And I also feel like it's interesting to note that initially, when this film was starting to come to fruition before it was written, they initially offered Michelle Yeoh's role to Jackie Chan. And Michelle Yeoh was going to play the wife, the Waymond character. And I think that this version, number one, worked so much better than
Absolutely.
that potential, and it had a lot more to say with an aging, kind of disaffected Asian woman as the lead. And I also love that when Jackie Chan was like, wow, that film, I heard the film was so successful, Michelle Yeoh was basically like, you're lost, bro.
Yeah.
Well, they're best friends.
They are, and I just love that, like, martial artist to martial artist, like, bruh, you lost.
But still, for her to take on that, again,
Yeah.
Hollywood does not usually look at older actresses in the starring role.
Right.
So for Jackie Chan,
It's true.
that would have still been kind of Hollywood being Hollywood. This is a different direction.
Yes.
Again, your two main is Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, if you're not Meryl Streep, it ain't happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
And
And so it's really
Kwan
good.
coming back is really fucking awesome. And like, I hope that we get to see so much more from Kay after this, because he was really excellent in this film. Like, he acted with so much nuance and feeling.
Everyone
and
did.
everything that he did. Everyone did, but because he didn't get those opportunities in Hollywood for such a long time as an actor at all, it's really nice to see the way that he has progressed as an actor from being, pigeonholed as a child actor.
I'm going to say it has to do with, obviously, his ability, but it also has to do with fantastic writing.
Yep.
I mean, how the fuck do you write a script like this movie? Have you read a script before?
They're fucking hard to write, dude.
They're hard to write and read.
Yep.
This, with the amount of cuts and shifts between realities, I don't even know what drugs these guys had to be on to
This
to
movie
keep it together.
is taking like 3 hits of acid, going, just go on in, man.
And years of existential research into, what was it
Holy
called? Like
fuck.
modal realism or something like that. Yeah.
God damn. All right. So that was Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is a fucking joy to watch. Go see it any way you can. Fuck yes.
Yeah. It's going to tackle literally all of the feelings. Enjoy.
All right. We ran long because we had to.
I'm sorry.
And that's just how it is. Because this movie was, I mean, it's almost impossible to describe, like in any coherent form. So, going forward, we are going to be a little bit more regular in releases with Beautiful Disasters coming up. We've got a new mini episode series coming soon. More to come in the near future on that.
I'm really excited about that.
It's going to be fantastic. And I guess very briefly, we can talk about the GUI sponsors. Just very briefly, we've got Amazon. If you spend your money as you normally would, but you click the link at GUIPodcast.com, click the Amazon link, spend as normal, we get a couple little shekels come our way, a few bucks here and there, help us with equipment and booze and shit like that, whatever it is.
Yeah, just help run us that coin, right?
Help
And then we
grease
got
the
some
gears.
merch, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just ordered a new piece of merch today. It felt appropriate. I finally got a hold of one of the lovely new Beautiful Disasters designs in the style of Buckaroo Banzai.
Ooh.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, lovely.
And where can you find those?
on a little site called tpublic.com.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how do you find that TeePublic link? Right on the website?
Yep. Very
At
convenient.
GUIPodcast.com.
Damn right. And we have a whole shit ton of other shows on the network. Check them all out. GUIPodcast.com. All that shit. You can reach us directly at beautifuldisasterspodcast@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook.
Find us on Instagram too. Beautiful Disasters Podcast with underscores in between those three words.
Damn Skippy.
Isn't it time for what we would pair this movie with?
Yes. Oh, that's right. I was so rushed to get done. Double features. So,
Yeah.
yes, of course. We always will ask everyone involved, if
Yep.
you were going to double this, show it to friends. What's the other movie you would put next to this on a double bill?
I'm really curious what y'all are gonna say because I had trouble picking
I'm
one.
going to let one of y'all go first. I want to see because I'm still
right,
wrapping
Grutz,
my
you wanna
brain
start
over
us
it.
I'll start it off. 100% I will show this with the Congress.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Do you want to give us a brief feeling of that film?
The Congress is a very bizarre, partially animated, partially in real life sort of movie that goes between dimensions, with Robin Wright playing herself, trying to save her possibly autistic son that goes into the other, fantasy sort of. I'm not going to do it justice in 30 seconds.
Right, but it's another very meta
Fucking
film.
watch the goddamn Congress.
That's fair.
It is so underrated, and it did not get the acclaim this got just because nobody got to see it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that this got exposure. Watch the Congress. Perfect double feature. Who's next?
Hunter, you go next.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So we actually brought this up on a GUI recently, but I always want to throw out kind of just something that you're going into and you just get caught off guard where there being a different kind of direction. I'm going to go with Brick.
Oh, okay.
Fuck
Because you go in, you go, oh, okay, it's going to be this. And no, it's just throws you off. And kind of the same way when I watched this, I went, oh, it's going to be kind of following these guidelines. And it goes, no. Go in a different direction.
I mean, honestly, that was the debut for Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that movie so much. And even though this director duo, the Daniels, did Swiss Army Man, and I enjoyed that, didn't quite have the resonance that Brick hit for me. This is the movie that absolutely will cement the fact, now I know their names, and I'll watch everything they fucking make after this.
Yep.
That's legit.
Because I leaned on maybe doing Looper, but I thought, no.
I looked at Looper and Edge of Tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
actually.
But I was like, you know what? I want to go with something. I want to stick with one kind of reality changing and one that's just different expectations from what I'm going into.
No,
so
that's
kind of
great.
pair them together.
That is completely fair. I had a really hard time choosing what I was going to double feature this with. I'm going to give you the brief list and then what I fucking settled on so I thought of Shazam because unlikely fucking superheroes, which is basically what Michelle Yeoh becomes. Big Trouble in Little China because the James Hong connection where he basically plays another version of Lopan at a certain point. Pig because holy fuck was I not expecting that movie and it crushed my heart. And it's also about reconciling who you are with who you used to be. I saw stuff about Turning Red being a good link, but I have not watched it yet, but I want to double feature it now. What I chose, because I'm a bastard and I couldn't stop thinking about it, is the Indonesian horror film Impedagor. Because it is about discovering an unknown link to your past, going to figure out who you actually are, trying to right generational wrongs, uncovering secrets, and it is that movie also I just couldn't stop fucking watching it. Like I tried to catch like a snippet of it and I watched the entire film. It is beautiful. It is very culturally specific. It is very well crafted. I was not prepared for the aspects in which it delivered, and so that like I just kept thinking about that film, and so like I would probably pair it with Impedagor.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, there it is. All right, we went long, but we love you, and it's been a minute, so stay tuned for more beautiful disasters to come in the very near future. We've got some new things coming down the pipe, so
I'm really stoked to be here for him.
and definitely fucking watch this movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep.
And for beautiful disasters, I've been the Grutz.
F.U. Hunter.
And Murphy.
Thanks for listening.
Coming straight from the mouths of madness, I'm Lowdown.
I'm F.U. Hunter.
Do you love horror?
We fucking do.
So this is a podcast dedicated to all things in cinematic horror. We're talking movies, television, composers, special effects artists. We're gonna fucking cover it.
So if you love horror,
Embrace the madness.
In a world with too many reboots and remakes,
Two men will stop at nothing to make it even worse.
Join like the Hobbit and Tandy as they play by their own rules while pitching new takes on some of your favorite and least favorite films and TV shows. What podcast would dare to bring this upon the world? This is Smack My Pitch Hit.
GUIPodcast.com.